This is my audience. Okay, this is my visual aid. I don't think you can really see it, but this is talking about the stats of why school should start later, and it's about the teen needs more sleep, better academic performances, improved health, and safer communication. Okay, school should start later in the morning. Imagine waking up at 5:30 every single morning after only getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep. You have to rush to get ready, have barely enough time to eat breakfast, and you're expected to sit in a class and pay attention for the next 7 to 8 hours. For millions of middle school and high school students across the country, this isn't something that happens once in a while. It's an everyday experience. Whether you're a student now or you remember your own school days, most of us know what it feels like to struggle through that first period. Some students drink coffee or even an energy drink just to stay awake, while others have to spend an hour of school trying not to fall asleep. Many people assume teenagers are simply staying up too late because they're on their phones, but the truth is much more than that. After researching the medical organizations, sleep experts, and educational studies, I found an overwhelming evidence that later school start times benefit the students in several different ways. School should start at 8:30 a.m. or later because students get more sleep, perform better academically, and are healthier and safer. Today I'm going to explain to you why teenagers naturally need more sleep, how later school start times improve the academic performance, and how later start times improve the students' health and their safety. Let's begin by looking at why teenagers need more sleep than people realize. Many people think that teenagers stay up too late simply because they want to. While electronics and homework can help these students stay awake, biology actually plays a bigger role in this. When teenagers go through puberty, their body's internal clock changes. This natural shift causes them to become tired late at night, around 11 p.m. Because of this biological change, many teenagers physically cannot sleep earlier than that, even if they go to bed at 9:30 or 10. Sleep experts have recommended that teenagers get 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single night. However, many students have to wake up between 5:30 and 6 in the morning just to catch a bus or even to get ready for school. If a student doesn't fall asleep around 11 p.m., they are only getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, most middle school and high school students do not get enough sleep. The American Academy of Sleep Medication also recommends that teenagers receive between 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night to help them support their healthy growth in their brain and their brain development. Sleep deprivation affects almost every part of the student's day. Students become more tired, have trouble concentrating, forget information more easily, become more stressed, and often have very strong mood swings. They even become less motivated because they're just simply exhausted. Think about how difficult it is to focus after just having one bad night of sleep. Now imagine that feeling every single day. That is the reality that most teenagers have to follow. The problem isn't that students don't value sleep. The problem is that school schedules often don't match the teenager's natural sleep schedule. Not getting enough sleep doesn't make the students tired. It directly affects how well they perform in school. Learning requires an alert brain, and it's very difficult to learn when you're exhausted. Students who get enough sleep are able to pay better attention during class, remember information more easily, solve problems more effectively, and participate in class discussions. Instead of spending the first hour trying to wake up, they can actually focus on what they're learning. Schools have switched to later start times because they see a positive results. Attendance improves because students are less likely to oversleep or even miss school. Teachers also report that students are more engaged during these lessons and participate more in class discussions. Research has shown the improvements in grades and standardized test scores after school delayed their start times. Students can perform better when they are more mentally alert and active. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that middle and high school begins at 8:30 a.m. or later because adequate sleep improves academic success along with physical and mental health. Teachers benefit as well from this. Instead of trying to teach these students who are half asleep and they have a classroom full of students that are ready to learn. This creates a better learning environment for everybody. Starting school later does not require hiring more teachers or changing the curriculum. It simply is just allowing these students to learn at a time when their brains are ready to absorb this information. Better grades are only one big advantage. Later school start times can also improve their health and even it can save lives. When school start times improve, this can help the students' health and safety. Getting enough sleep is important for much more than academics. Students who regularly get enough sleep are generally healthier. They have strong immune systems, more energy throughout the day, better athletic performance, and can improve emotional regulation better. They are also less likely to get sick because their body can recover and fight illnesses easier. On the other hand, students who don't get enough sleep have higher rates of anxiety, depression, irritability, and difficulty of managing their stress. Lack of sleep can make this everyday challenge feel much harder than they actually are. Other major concerns is drowsy driving. Many high school students have to drive themselves to school every morning. When drivers are sleep deprived, their reaction times slow down, their attention decreases, and their decision making becomes less effective. Research has found that communities with later school start times often experience fewer crashes involving teenage drivers because these students are more alert behind the wheel. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, getting enough sleep supports physical health, mental health, and overall safety. When students are healthier and safer, families, teachers, and communities all benefit from this. Some people like to argue that starting school later would interfere with sports, after-school jobs, childcare, and transportation schedules. These concerns are very understandable, and changing the schedule does not require planning. However, many school districts across the country have already made these adjustments successfully. Schools have modified bus routes, moved sports practices a little later, and adjusted the extracurricular schedules while still allowing these schools to participate. When we have to compare the temporary inconvenience of changing the school schedules to the long-term benefits of healthier, safer, and more successful students, the benefits clearly outweigh all of these challenges. If school can make these small adjustments and improve the students' lives every day, with those adjustments, I think they are very much worth making. As I conclude, I've reviewed the reasons why schools should start later. Today I've told you guys, and we've learned 3 important reasons why schools should begin in the morning. First, teenagers naturally need more sleep because their biological clocks change during puberty, making it difficult for them to fall asleep early. Second, students who get enough sleep perform better academically. They pay more attention easily and remember information better. They participate in class and often earn higher grades. Finally, when you're getting enough sleep, it improves the students' physical health, mental health, and overall safety for reducing their stress. Improved emotional well-being, strengthening their immune system, and it's lowering their stakes for drowsy driving accidents. School should start at 8:30 a.m. or later because doing so helps the students succeed in school, while it's also improving their health and safety. So the next time you hear someone talk about changing the school times, remember that the issue is not about the teenagers not getting enough sleep, or even just sleeping in. It's about giving the students the opportunity to learn at the best, stay healthy, and become safer drivers as young adults. Thank you.